Paul Spadafora, Fighting Till the End, by Scarnati.
Paul Spadafora remembers the gamut of emotions, the dizzying highs and lows, the triumphs and gut-wrenching tragedies. They visit him in daydreams and haunt him regularly in nightmares. He does his best to suppress the memories and focus on the present. Amidst the rhythmic rat-a-tat of speed bags, swooshing of jump ropes, and the violent symphony of jabs, body shots, and haymakers being exchanged within the walls of the DLX boxing gym in Las Vegas, Paul can be heard barking commands at his son Gino, a sinewy 18-year-old amateur bantamweight who flaunts his old man's shifty movement and same sneaky uppercut. "I want to get him as many fights as we can for 2 years and turn him pro," Paul says. "If he does the right thing, you never know how far he could go." Gino knows he should listen because very few have made it as far as his old man. Paul gave Pittsburgh its first boxing title in more than 50 years after defeating Israel Pito Cardona to capture the International Boxing Federation (IBF) lightweight belt in 1999. He was commonly called the Pittsburgh Kid, a tag owned initially by the late Charles P.K. Pecora, his first trainer, and Billy Conn, the acclaimed lightweight heavyweight champ in the city's East Liberty section, who once galvanized the nation by nearly upsetting a seemingly immortal adversary named Joe Louis. In Paul, locals wondered whether they were witnessing Conn's second coming. Sports writers lauded his meteoric rise, and his management team even dubbed him Pittsburgh's fourth franchise, behind the Steelers, Pirates, and Penguins. Paul represented a renaissance in Pittsburgh boxing, a rebirth of the tough, working-class fight town Pittsburgh originally was between the 1920s and 1950s, explained boxing historian Douglas Cavanaugh. With Paul, it was like, "Oh my God, boxing is back," and everyone was ready for it. The excitement generated inside the ring was rarely instantaneous. Paul was never revered for his knockout power, but dominated fights as a slick, defensive southpaw conditioned to win 12-round marathons. He relied on guile, deceptive quickness, and a prodigious counterpunch, which, according to trainer Tom Yankello, was almost rooted in superhuman telepathy. "Paul always seemed to be a move ahead of his opponents," he told Sports Illustrated. "Larry Bird always had an instinct to know where the basketball was coming off the backboard. Paul was like that as a boxer, always in the right position." This sixth sense kept him from getting hurt. "Nobody could hit Paul," said Jesse Reed, another trainer who helped coach him through his 8 title defenses. "He's a special boxer who's up there with the best of them. He always brought an extra dimension." Paul approached the sweet science with the fevered intensity of a mad scientist, and the gym was his fistic laboratory. He spent entire days sparring with multiple partners, and long nights breaking down video footage to prepare for his next bout. Boxing brought out his best qualities. It defined his purpose and made him feel whole. And when keeping him occupied, it quelled demons that would otherwise make his reality a living hell. As detailed in the media for more than 2 decades, Paul's debilitating addictions between fights contributed to a criminal rap sheet that rivaled his resume of accomplishments. He was a tortured soul, a veritable Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. His narrative was one of brilliance crippled by madness, a dichotomy of in-ring savant and out-of-ring calamity. Alcohol was the catalyst for every bad experience, and in its wake laid a trail of pain and incarceration. It was the reason the police inadvertently shot him. It was the reason he accidentally put a bullet through the woman he loved.
You have been listening to an audiobook excerpt from Paul Spadafora, Fighting Till the End, by Scarnati, published by Creative Texts Publishers, LLC. All rights reserved. Visit our Creative Texts website at www.creativetext.com to check out all of the other great authors and titles available from the Creative Texts catalog.